See, I find it also rather peculiar. The dark Vice's excuse for leaving his marriage is that he was supposedly abused by the woman that he hailed as a wonderful wife for 30 years. But once he could claim abuse status, he automatically catapulted himself into the position of the victim. And who, after all, could blame the victim? Unless, of course, you were in dark Vice's therapy and the women or spouses that were cheated on, who were real victims, were allegedly re-victimized by being told it was their duty, if they wanted to save their marriage, to engage in intimacy that they weren't ready to and where the trust had been broken. Vice versa, the real victims of SA in Daystar, they never got to be heard. Instead, who put himself up as the victim was none other than Doug. And then Joni, as a victim of children who would not support a marriage. Strange how that switcheroo happens, which typically in narcissistic relationships happens inevitably. The perpetrator puts themselves up as the victim and they put the victim into the shoes of the perpetrator. But wait, what about the YouTubers, the Christian community who has taken intense interest as this tragedy unfolds before our very eyes? Aren't we just gossipers, clickbait roaches and braying pack of wolves? Aren't we the perpetrator on the poor victim of Daystar, Joni and Doug, and their enablers and flying monkeys? Aren't we the ones that should shut up? Aren't we the perpetrators? And aren't we the ones that are going against God's will? Well, to answer those self-appointed gatekeepers of truth and morality, I would like to take an unexpected detour into Greek tragedies. See, Greek tragedies had stories unfold on stage of similar proportions of folly, moral wrongdoing, and tragic outcomes. But there was an important element to the Greek tragedy, and that was the chorus at the back of the stage. And the chorus had a number of important functions. One was to comment on the folly of the players, so audiences could agree or disagree and listen to the commentary of the chorus. The chorus would also be a voice of moral right and wrong. What was morally right? What was morally wrong? The Greek chorus also served as the voice of truth and the conscience of the community. It served to write reality through the correct lens of morality, where the players in their folly had given us, or given the viewers, a distorted view of reality, one that no longer served truth. Also at that time, it spoke of the religious norms of that time. Of course, during that time, Christianity was not prevalent, but since Daystar is a Christian organization and serves largely Christian communities, as well as those, not to be forgotten, who are seeking answers, who are not yet Christians and are looking into Christianity, and now are turned off by all the deception, all the lies, all the false prophecies. Doesn't it, it seems, reinforce that Christianity is just a bunch of hypocrites? See, and for those and for the Christian community, it is very important that the lens of reality is righted, that the voice of the religion of scriptural truth of Christianity gets its say. Just like in the Greek tragedy, the chorus would speak of the religious mores and norms of its time. See, there's an abiding hunger for truth in the human community, in human nature, whether it's Christian or not. I'm from Germany, and the first time I went to Berlin was just after the fall of the wall. You could see immediately who was from the former East, because you see these people seem to be oppressed, downtrodden, and the entire frame almost distorted, because truth could not be spoken in the former East Germany. And the inability to speak truth takes its toll on the human soul. See, what's at stake here is more than what meets the eye. This is not just about uncovering lies and false prophecies. This is not just uncovering deceit and abuse behind the Iron Curtain of a corporate entity that has one face on the outside and a different face on the inside. This is not just about exposing folly and falsehood. This is not just a Shakespearean comedy of misguided affections. This is also about healing, individual healing and collective healing. This is about processing trauma collectively. This is about speaking truth as a root of human existence, human necessities. See, there is Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where sustenance and shelter are at the bottom, we all need. But the ability to speak the truth, to hear the truth, express the truth is so important to the human soul, to our well-being, and in our relationship with God, after all. This is about showing the believer and the unbeliever that darkness is and will be exposed. And that truth will prevail. This is about a battle between good and evil. Not that each of the players are evil, but on a larger scale, truth versus falsehood, good versus evil, and the ability to uncover that. And that is at the root of this Greek chorus of YouTubers and the community at large that makes us weigh in on the situation, not as gossip, not as clickbait roaches, and most certainly not as praying wolves. Instead, it's the chorus of truth. See, the Greeks knew a thing or two about psychology. A lot of modern day psychology is based in Greek theater because they had tapped into some of the structures of human psychology and the unconscious. And they came up with the Greek chorus because the Greek chorus would reflect back to us what's truth, what is morally correct, what are the spiritual and religious norms, and to give a commentary for us to make up our own minds about the folly we see unfold on stage before our very eyes. Speak to you soon.